Here's the question. How do you make the impossible possible? Simple. Remove the I am, the ego. Now, how do you step into that newfound possibility? With a series of small intentional steps. Never forget, the greatest among us started from humble beginnings. But to truly unlock your potential, realize you're here for something greater. If you're yearning for more than just a good life, let's take that small step together to reach greatness. Welcome to the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast, where we're talking to those who have gone from mediocrity to motivated, overlooked to overachieving, forgettable to unforgettable. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all again. And this might be a short one, but I needed to come on and just kind of refer to something that I need to talk about for myself. And it's not, let's see, New Year's resolutions, like thinking about new things, like the new year in the new year. And for me, I realized 2 weeks ago, probably, that I don't make resolutions typically. I sign up for different running events so that I keep myself on track for running. I continue to do the things I've been doing, which is read the Bible every day for 3 decades plus. And I continue to do these things, but then there's some other lists that have been good reminders in the past number of years, that I realize that if I put these lists to pencil or pen every day, that I'll remember them more. So while I'm doing this, I'm reminding myself, oh yeah, don't forget these things. A couple of episodes, I talked about this list of 10 disciplines and explained them. I'll go through them really quick again. 10-year thinking, take time off, know thyself, be still, know your 100%, say no often. Don't do $25 an hour work or $20 an hour work. Prepare every night. Put everything in one place. Be humble. That's a great list. Go back a couple of episodes and listen to some of the details as I unfolded that list. But I have been doing one other thing that at the first of this year, here it is, I'm recording on January 31st. You'll hear it a little ways out, sometime in February. But it's the end of the first month. Today I sit here and I go, okay, how have I done? I had a friend of mine come to me a few days, well, it's been more than a week now. And he said in 2025, he's almost the exact same age as I am, much the same positionally within a business, within an organization. He runs a nonprofit and has conglomerated several of them together and these kinds of things. And I've been intrigued to watch him and be part of it and donate to the cause because it's a nonprofit. And he came to me, which I really appreciated, and said, I'm starting to go deeper in the transition thinking. And how do I do that? And what do I do? And what are the steps? And how do I need to see it? And who do I need to pray for? And how to do this best is a big question. And he said, would you walk that road with me this year in 2025? I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. He invited me this next week to a 2-day kind of getaway retreat thing. And he's going to do it anyway, but I'm on family vacation. 35 people together in one house, and I'm really looking forward to it. That fills me up to some great degree. But I appreciated that we'll probably dig into some habits, some disciplines, some things that help us think bigger and better for the future, for the legacy we're going to leave, for our future, the legacy we're going to leave. I heard on the interview of the plane crash this morning. Again, it's January 31st today. One of the people in the gymnastics club, several of the girls and guys were on this plane, with some with their parents. And he is, if I did the math right, the one of the main people is 83 years old, and he's up there. He sounded young. I didn't see the report, but I heard it, and he sounded very vibrant. And so I think to myself, I've got 20 plus more years if all is well with my body, and if God decides that's the way it is, then I have that time. How am I going to use it as I perhaps transition out to some degree out of the organization that I've run and been in for the last 40 years? So I wanted to present one more list of things that I look at every day. There will be more this year. I'll give more thoughts as I go through this process of transition and legacy thinking, but I wanted to give it to you. It's called The Morning Five. Look up Glenn Lundy, and you'll find some books that he's written. There's a booklet, an ebook called that, The Morning Five. But I'm going to give it to you in very short order. And they're not necessarily in an order, but here's the five. No snooze button. Apparently, physically and psychologically, that's a bad idea in every way. Set your alarm, get up, use the 5 second rule. Read that book, by the way. That's a good book. The 5 second rule. Great for personal discipline and thinking through what I need to do, what action do I need to take in the moment. The next one is no phone. And basically, the idea behind that is that the emails, the incoming social media, and all of that just robs your day from you. It just puts control of your day into someone else's bucket, and you have to refuse to do that. So he says at least a half an hour. I have no problem leaving it set for an hour. It's when I get up fairly early. I write, I read some scripture, and I have no problem letting it sit for over an hour most mornings. And then the other one is exercise. Now I'm on a rhythm of exercising every other day, but I have appreciated that in the last few days since I've been doing this. Now though I have not exercised every day since I've been writing this down, it reminds me that I just need to do a few minutes of core work each day, or isometrics, or stretching. And while I'm making coffee, I can stand there and stretch, or uh, yeah, while I'm watching TV, even in the evening, I can do some planking and that kind of thing that actually gives me that physical activity that I actually so badly need. Another one that he uses is message someone. Send somebody an encouraging message, tell them you're thinking of them, praying for them, anything. The idea is to make contact with people because they appreciate it when you do, and reaching out and serving others. One way I get up and serve every day is I make coffee for my wife. Now, I do it for myself very differently, and I don't care so much about what the coffee product is. There's a certain thing I do, but I could do something different. But for her, she really likes it the way she likes it, and doesn't drink much coffee, to be honest, but she'll drink that. And so I serve her in the morning. But the idea with behind the messaging someone is that you serve somebody, encourage somebody. And then the next one is, as I'm writing, I have been for almost a half a year writing a particular scripture. I've got it 99.9% memorized by now, and can write it down from memory. And if you are curious what it is, it's First Chronicles 29:11 through 13. That's the first thing I do when I sit down with my notepad to write. And then I write my goals, and then I write, and they do change. Like, I notice that I'm not happy with some of them sometimes. And one of them recently that I needed to put in my goals, actually in my goals, is choose to be happy. Not that I'm grumpy, not that I'm not happy, but the idea is to make choices that send me that direction. And they need to be intentional choices. And then in my gratefulness, I often list some of the same things every day, but it's important for me to remember them all so that I keep the legacy thinking, the reminders in my mind every day. In Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So where this ties in with this subject today, greatness in general, like, the idea is to encourage you to go be great, right? So the way it ties in with that is in the second line, but fools despise wisdom and understand and instruction. And we need instruction. We need the instruction from our own minds to peel out some of those things that literally we already know, we already abide with in our behaviors, in the way we act and live. And we do need to continue to call those things out, and then dig deeper in instruction from others. I recently saw Jordan Peterson in person, and hit one of his comments that he unfolded in a 20-minute monologue. If you ever heard him, you know what I mean. Was assume that the person you're speaking with knows something you don't. This is where a fool will despise wisdom and instruction, because if I assume going into the conversation that that person knows something I don't, then I am willing to be instructed and I'm willing to take on additional wisdom. Great, great concept, great thinking, great way to think. And then, of course, the rest of the verse, the first part, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And it is. It is the perspective of who we are compared to the God that made all this and why we're on this earth in a bigger sense are really good things to consider. And then we will do a better job at that first list I read, where we take time off and we figure out how to do things better and don't do menial tasks when we need to delegate those, that whole list of things. So that being said, Zig Ziglar, he said about you and about me, but about you in this case, you were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. Let's grow the seeds, people. Let's grow the seeds. I need to work on it. So do you. Let's grow some seeds of greatness. Now, call to action. Now go be great.